Oh, I didn't even turn the camera around. Hold on. I gotta turn the camera around first. Then I can sit down, and only then can we listen to some music. Welcome back, guys, to the channel. I hope that you're having an absolutely wonderful day here today. Let's go ahead and finish out. Can you guys hear the air? It's kind of loud. Can't do anything about it. Let's go ahead and finish out the album White Light, White Heat, Velvet Underground with the final track, the longest track here on the album, clocking in at about 17 minutes long, Sister Ray. I've heard a not a great number of things, but a good number of things regarding this track, so I'm excited to get into it. I hope that you guys have enjoyed listening to the album alongside with me. Hope you've enjoyed your time here, etc., etc., etc. Hey, let's just go ahead and listen to the music. We'll talk about it after. It's probably going to be a good time, so let's go ahead and get it started. This is Sister Ray by the Velvet Underground. Let's go. We're not even halfway through.
You're busy sucking on my ding dong.
What the f? Well, Sister Ray was a different sort of track. Let me tell you something. Let me sit down, relax for a second, all right? Let me tell you something about Just JP, about this channel. In my own personal music listening and for the purposes of this channel, when I created this channel, etc., etc., I am very big into music appreciation. I am very big into learning about music. I am very big into opening your mind, your horizons, blah, 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 and exploring different genres, exploring different sounds. There's a reason and an appreciation to be found in every single sound that's made in every single genre and part and form of music that there is. I truly believe that, and in part that's why I started this channel, because it was something that I was doing on my own, exploring new music, trying to find and appreciate new sounds, and that's really a big part, and I would say the biggest part of this channel. It's a music appreciation channel. Even if I don't like everything I hear, I at least want to understand it, I want to appreciate it, and like I said, I really think that pretty much every sound you can find some appreciation for. So when I'm listening to Sister Ray by the Velvet Underground, I can tell you, off of a first listen, it's my first time listening to this song, blah, 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 I don't like it. So let me put that out there already. But what I want to do is dig deeper into this. I want to dig down into the appreciation part. That's where I really want to go to, because that's where I can gain a bit more understanding. And sometimes that understanding can lead into not only appreciation, but actual favorable opinions on the music and actually enjoying the music. Because if I was listening to this on my own, not on the channel, but on my own, and I put on Sister Ray, I'll be 100% honest, I would have probably turned it off in the first, probably, I don't know, a couple minutes or so. I don't know, at a certain point, I was just waiting for the song to be over. I didn't enjoy it. But let's dig deeper. And this is really where you guys come in, and of course, the research, etc., etc., because I want to know if this is a song that you enjoy, if this is perhaps one of your favorite tracks, maybe from the Velvet Underground. I don't know. I haven't heard anything else really by the band. What is it that you enjoy about this track? What is it that makes this perhaps a favorite for you? Because I want to understand. I want to appreciate it. Like I've been saying throughout the album listen, I can definitely understand 1968. This sound, I don't know, but I can't imagine that this was a common sound in popular music at the time. The noisiness, the feedback, the abrasiveness of it all. It's absolutely pummeling and pounding and it's an oppressive atmosphere built off of a rock and roll kind of bluesy sound with this production that just fuzzies it all up. This was probably something that was completely unheard of. And kind of like we mentioned on some of the other tracks, if you put this on in 1968, I would just imagine that your mind would be blown at hearing these new sounds. As dark and somewhat torturous, kind of psychedelic as these sounds are, it sounds completely new. And I could see, I do see, and I would imagine once again that this would be really, really influential, especially in like the punk genre, because I hear that, especially in here, with this kind of unfettered and unfiltered attitude into the music, and just letting the noise and the feedback kind of ring out, not having to polish it up and pretty it up. Just let the pig run. Just let the pig play in the mud. Don't wash him off. I get that. The vocal stylings of Reed, especially here, I'm sure it's Reed on this one, just careless and once again brash. I can like appreciate that part of it, and I really think the production once again is a huge part of the whole formula that the band is going for here. Like I said, we'll dive in a little bit, but on those levels, I can appreciate it, especially from a historical point of view. If I'm guessing right. However, it's 2023. So I want to know, what is it in 2023 that when you listen to this song, what part of you does it hit? How does it make you feel? What is it that you enjoy out of it? Because I don't enjoy this. This is probably the least enjoyable track on the album to me. I understand where they're going and what they're doing, but it just doesn't hit me. But I want to know from you, and I want to hear your opinions on this. I mean, there's so much going on in here. I don't even know really where to break it down, and I really can't, to be honest. Like, on one hand, you have a riff that pretty much is playing over and over and over in this monotony throughout the whole track. Occasionally, you'll hear, I would imagine probably Reed or Kale, one of them. Let me pull up who's actually doing what on this track. Yeah, actually, it's going to be Reed and Morrison playing guitars. Okay, so occasionally you can hear the guitar change, the drums, of course, change. You hear, like, amongst this white noise and this sea of feedback, you hear riffs changing, the drum patterns changing. I really think that the organ played a really crucial role in the atmosphere of this track, and was actually really, really cool. It reminded me of The Doors, kind of like we mentioned before. I would probably think that The Doors were influenced in some way by the Velvet Underground. But like, I understand this ocean of distortion that is playing in here, and once again I can understand its influence, and I can even hear future bands like taking this sound, of course, and evolving it. But I don't get that one. and you know what? That's okay to admit you don't understand something. That's okay. But I think it's the willingness to learn about it that is important. Now, when it gets to the lyrics, I don't know exactly, but I'm pretty sure this is about drugs. Some funny lyrics in here too. But I don't know exactly what's going on, but I'm imagining that these people are in a house or some sort of building. They are in a drugged state. Perhaps the cops come knocking at some point. But they ain't got time for anybody because they're being dumb. Duck and Sally inside, they're cooking for the downpipe, who's staring at Miss Rayum, who's busy licking up her pig pen. I'm searching for my main line. I said I couldn't hit it sideways. Oh, just like Sister Ray said, whip it on. Once again, I don't know exactly the details, but I do think that this is pretty much just trying to find your line, etc., etc. Rosie and Miss Rayum, they were busy waiting for her booster. I'd imagine like a booster shot. Who just got back from Carolina? She says she didn't like the weather. They're busy waiting for her sailor, who says he's just as big as ever. He says he's from Alabama. He wants to know a way to earn $1. I'm searching for my main line, blah, blah, blah. Cecil's got a new piece. He cocks and shoots between 3 and 4. He aims it at the sailor, shoots him down dead on the floor. So there is a little bit of a progressive story going on here. Don't you know you'll stain the carpet? Like, that's what they worry about. But then, very quickly switching topics from killing the sailor to, by the way, have you got $1? And then he says, no, I haven't got the time, too busy. Now, I do think it's really cool that in the fourth verse, now, who's that knocking? Who's that knocking on my chamber door? A little bit of a Raven Edgar Allan Poe reference. I like that. Which was death. Well, you could actually look at the symbolism of the Raven in a lot of ways. But I think a lot of people interpret it as death. So it could be death from perhaps an overdose. Say, could it be the police? They come to take me for a ride, but I haven't got the time. And then the lyrics kind of just repeat until the very end. Says, Duck and Sally, move it along now. They're cooking for the downpipe. Who's staring at Miss Rayon? Blah, 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 blah. Oh, just like amphetamines. So there's your answer. Let's look into some of the information on this particular track here, because we need some deeper information here. It says the song concerns drug use, violence, homosexuality, and transvestism. Okay, I just got the drugs part. I guess the violence too. It says Reed said that Sister Ray was done as a joke. No, not as a joke, but it has 8 characters in it, and this guy gets killed and nobody does anything. It was built around this story that I wrote about, this scene of total debauchery and decay. I like to think of Sister Ray as a transvestite smack dealer. The situation is a bunch of drag queens taking some sailors home with them, shooting up on Smack, and having this orgy when the police appear. I wouldn't have gotten half of that. Not even a quarter of that. Rock critic Lester Bangs wrote in 1970, the early Velvets had a good sense to realize that whatever your capabilities, music with a simple bass structure was best. Thus, Sister Ray evolved from the most basic funk riff into 17 minutes, stark sound structures, and incredible complexity. This is interesting. The song was done in one take. The band agreed to accept whatever faults occurred during recording. Okay, so this was all improvised, apparently. Well, that's kind of interesting. Morrison remarked that he was amazed at the volume of Cale's organ during the recording, and that he switched to his guitar pickup, or the guitar pickup on his Stratocaster, from the bridge position to the neck position to get more oomph. You guitarists probably know a little bit more than that. It is also notable that the song features no bass guitar, because Cale was playing the organ on this particular take. Said Reed called the song Sister Ray in a nod to Ray Davies of the Kinks. I don't know. But I want to know, like, what is it about? I want to know, like, what is it about this song in particular that, like, I want to know, like, what's the story? I want to get deeper into that. You know, like, I want to know, like, the nitty gritty, so to speak. I don't know. I think this is kind of interesting. Hold on. I actually just lost my point. Here we go. Like other releases by the group, the lyrical themes and avant-garde instrumentation did not resonate with mainstream audiences at the time. I can imagine. However, I thought this was interesting. For example, Rolling Stone refused to review the record. Can you not refuse to review a record? I didn't know they could do that. You have to review everything, don't you? Peter Jones of Record Mirror called it a menacing set of acid rock tunes and a hippie must. Growling blues-style instrumentation and deadpan vocals. The reviewers singled out Sister Ray as behemoth while comparing The Gift to Dylan Thomas' radio drama Under Milkwood. I don't know. That's why on a track like this, where, yeah, I don't like it and I don't plan to listen to it again, like, I want to know what you guys think. I want to hear from the fans and just people that have maybe even heard this, you know, whether it's the first time today, yeah, but maybe you heard this in the late 60s when it was released, or maybe you heard it in the early 70s when you kind of got around to it. I don't know, like, I want to hear and understand what it meant to hear this at the time. I saw the little sentence about, it wasn't really a mainstream success, but I want to hear from, like, the people of that time. And I know that there's at least a few of you that can kind of fill me in on this one. Anyways, what an interesting album. Like, the other songs, they got into that, of course, noisy sound, but like, they weren't like Sister Ray. Sister Ray just hits a little different, and I don't want to be hit. Sister Ray on this one. But regardless, guys, seriously, a big and incredible thank you to all of you who watched the reaction, of course, and listened to the music alongside with me. Thank you so much for your comments. Thank you so much for continuing to support the channel and to watch me here day in, day out. Sometimes not day in, not day out. that's okay with me. You don't have to be here every single day. It's not a job. But I really thank you for just being on the journey with me, and at least having that willingness to learn or to reignite old nostalgic memories, whatever it may be. I just thank you for being here. So let me know your thoughts on this track in particular, but definitely on the rest of the album. You can let me know those thoughts in the comments below. You can follow me if you wish on Twitter. You can support the channel and what I do on Patreon as well. But otherwise, I hope you enjoy the rest of your day. Thank you so much for being here, and I will see you all later. Bye, guys.